Hello, my name is Carl Cedric Medalla. I am a grade 6 student from Washington International School that envisions in developing international-minded leaders, one child at a time. Click the subscribe button and like button and let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about the Philippines' clean and renewable energy. There will be two guide questions. Question 1. How is the Philippines doing when it comes to utilizing energy? And question 2. What companies or communities in the Philippines that already transitioned into using renewable energy sources? Let's begin. Now, how is the Philippines doing when it comes to utilizing energy? Well, the Philippines utilizes renewable energy sources including hydropower, geothermal and solar energy, wind power, and biomass resources. In 2013, these resources contributed 19,903 GWh of electrical energy, representing 26.44% of the country's electricity needs. Reliance on fossil fuels is detrimental to the energy security of the Philippines. The Philippines is a net importer of fossil fuels. In 2012, the Philippines imported 20 million tons of coal. 8 million tons were produced domestically. In 2010, the Philippines imported 54 million barrels of oil and produced 33,000 barrels. Given this dependence on imported coal and oil, the Philippines is vulnerable to price fluctuations and supply constraints. There are 5 renewable energy sources that the Philippines utilizes. Firstly, hydropower. In the Philippines, there are hydroelectric plants of both the conventional dam and the run-off the river types. Of 29 hydroelectric plants, 14 are conventional dams and 15 are run-off-the-river types. Many areas of the Philippines are suitable for hydroelectricity production. However, hydroelectricity production in the Philippines can cause an upstream and downstream flooding during weather and when excess water is released from dams. Second, geothermal. In the Philippines, geothermal energy is used to generate electricity. 2 types of technologies are used in the Philippines. These are firstly the higher temperature and flash steam method, and secondly the lower temperature binary cycle method in the Philippines. The first is most common, the second is used only at the Macban plant. Geothermal plants are suitable for areas with low winds, such as Mindanao, and areas that have rainy weather, such as Batanes. Geothermal energy production can result in the release of toxic substances. Thirdly, solar power. In 2015, 3 solar farms were constructed in the Philippines. The Philippines receives over 7 kilowatts an hour per square meter a day. During its peak month of April and lowest at 3 kilowatts an hour per square meter a day during its off-peak month of December. Given the country's high solar potential, the solar energy's contribution to the energy mix is expected to increase from the current 2019 1.2% of 23 gigawatts to at least 3.5% of the 43 gigawatt total capacity by 2040. Fourthly, wind power. All wind power sites in the Philippines are onshore facilities. Some such as Ilocos Norte, Pililla Wind Farm in Rizal, and Bangoy Wind Farm are tourist destinations. Because it was raining, I had to switch into a different spot, but back to what I was saying. Lastly, biomass power. Biomass resources are abundant in the Philippines due to its large agricultural industry, such as bagasay, rice husks, and coconut husks. They are used to generate power. Now, that is how Philippines utilizes renewable energy. Now, we will move on to 3 companies that transitioned into using renewable energy sources. Firstly, EDC, which stands for Energy Development Corporation. Energy Development Corporation is the largest producer of geothermal energy in the Philippines and the second largest in the world. It is involved in alternative energy projects, including geothermal, hydroelectric, and wind energy projects. Can you guess the second company? It is very famous. That's right, it's Google. Their large-scale procurement of wind and solar power is a cornerstone of their sustainability efforts. and has made Google the world's largest corporate buyer of renewable energy. We are now here at the Tiwi Geothermal Power Plant, right over there. Lastly, the Tiwi Geothermal Power Plant. In 1979, commercial operation started at the Tiwi Geothermal Power Plant in Albay Province, Philippines, having now produced power for 40 years. Commercial operation of the Tiwi Geothermal field in the Philippines started in May 1979, so now 40 years ago. The geothermal field of Tiwi is located at Mount Malinaw. Now, those are the three companies that use and utilize renewable energy source. Tiwi Geothermal Power Plant in Albay and the Palipinon Geothermal Field in Negros Island are some of the dry steam plants operating in the country. For flash steam plants, instead of pumping hot steam, this pumps hot water directly into a flash tank on the surface. The flash tank is at a much lower temperature compared to the high-pressured fluid, causing it to convert into steam. This, in turn, powers the turbines, and when cooled and condensed back to water, it is pumped back to the ground through the injection well. Now that is how the Tiwi Geothermal Power Plant works. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Comment down below if you have learned something, and press the notification bell to not miss any of my new upcoming videos. See you at my next video.